So guys, we're starting a new project, and it involves both of these tanker trucks. And currently this is supposed to be like a more fertilizer type of truck, and this is just a regular liquid tanker, more than likely a fuel tanker, because it's got the doors that open up that have all the equipment in there that pumps the fuel out. But I mean, they have that for any tanker, so I guess it could be either one. I like the red International, but it's chipped up pretty bad, and this truck and this tanker are gonna really work good for the project we're doing. So basically all we're going to use this truck for is this tank, and we're going to trade the tanks on the trucks, and then this guy can be put back together with this tank. This one will be our main focus, and I'll show you what we're going to turn this into now. So this is Keith Tohill's Ford oil truck, and I know the tanker we're using is a International, not a Ford, but it's got the same hood shape as you can see, and it's got the round headlights and the big grill. So we're going to make it work. It's not quite the same, but we can make it work, and the bumper's pretty much the same. It's got the two little holes on either side of the license plate. Now this has the steel wheels with the split rims versus the wheels on our little model. But anyway, this is the truck we're going to model the International after, even though they're not quite the same truck. And you can see the tank on this truck is much more like the tank on the white truck, which is why we're using the tank from that. Our International has dual rear axles. This one's just single, but like I said, it's not going to be exactly like it. It's just going to be similar to it. And as you can see, the tires, if you can see at the bottom of the screen there, since this is an oil truck for the oil field, it's going to have some tires to go through the mud to get back there. So the tires that's on our model aren't going to work. And they will for the front, but not for the back. But that's okay, because I've got something for that. And we have one more picture. On the door of the truck says Tohill Oil Operators, not for hire. That's not going to go on the door of our model. It's actually going to go... Where's the green stripe? Must be on... Yeah, that's actually going to go on the green stripe we're going to paint. Obviously on the real truck it's not there, but since we're kind of stretching a little bit anyways, we might as well just go ahead and make, try to make it pretty close. So this is what we're going to make, is Keith Tohill's oil tanker. So having seen that truck, you can probably see why we're using this tank versus this big fancy thing, because this is much more like the tank on the real truck. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. The bumper's the same. It's the same configuration of the cab. It's obviously not going to be the same truck. It had different wheels on it, but we're going to stick with the wheels that's on it. We're going to be changing tires on the back here. I have a truck like this that is broke, that we're going to use the tires off of it. And I made sure they have to be heated up so they fit, but these tires will fit on these wheels. They just have to be heated up so they're stretchy to get them over the lip. I never have mentioned, this is an Ertl tanker. I don't know when Ertl started producing the International casting, but this was kind of the generic big truck for a while that Ertl made. And then somewhere along the line, they switched to this Ford Sterling configuration here, the newer truck. They also have a Peterbilt. Is it a Peterbilt? I think it's a Peterbilt. I can't remember right now. And it's newer yet than this Ford. But both of these are Ertls, so I guess we'll start by taking the tanks off of both of these. So this one's held on with some rusty rivets. This one is held on with screws, so this one should be easier to take apart. Now I'm gonna do the tires first because, and I know that makes it seem like it would be harder, but if I don't, it's going to be hard to take these off with just having to hold this little bitty wheel. So we're going to try taking the tires off with the truck together first. So the outer ones are going to be easier to take off with the truck together. The inner ones are going to be easier with the truck apart. So let's take the truck apart. So I'm not sure how this rivet is bent, but it is. This one I don't think, yeah, that one's kind of bent. Keep in mind this has been on here for probably 30 years, so it's not going to come off super easy. I don't know if that ending in 91 means anything about this. It is from around 91. I didn't really look this one up to see when it's from. No, that must be just, I mean obviously there's a part number, but I wonder, because 8790, 8791, and probably this whole piece here is 1008. There's that. There's the color our truck's supposed to be, is that pretty red color. But it's not going to be that red color, international red, anymore. And I can show taking this one apart. I could show the one with the drill, but it takes a while. So I just don't show that. Nice color matched screw head there. Aha. There we go there. And then since these trucks are, oh, they don't quite, oh, they don't quite fit the, oh, I see what it is. Okay, I can make that fit. That's just not going to be as easy. Does that mean this one won't fit either, or what? I just have to shorten this a little bit. We can make it work though. Anyway, gonna continue taking tires off now. Alright, well we've got trucks and pieces of trucks and tanks and pieces of tanks all laying around here. And we're getting our other parts truck delivered here, and you can probably already see what's wrong with it. And that it doesn't stop there. It's not only missing a wheel, and this came in a box of stuff this came in a box of stuff I bought, so this does not have the wheel as far as I know, because it's not in the bottom of the box. It's also got another wheel that's about to break right here, So this just seemed like a good parts truck, especially for this project. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to take the tires off of this and get them on here. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we got the tires on. Got the International part. Got the S&C tanker on the Ford truck here. So now we're gonna put this in the paint stripper, and then we're gonna primer it, and probably also gonna have to primer the plastic parts and the fenders that's in here. So that's what's next. So I think we already said this front bumper looks like the back bumper on Tohill's truck. So we're going to cut this front bumper off, because this is all one piece here. Cut this front bumper off, and it's going to become our back bumper when we put the truck back together. So my Dremel brand Dremel does not work anymore. My newer one, the old one still works, but my newer one doesn't. But this little guy right here works really good, so we'll just use this one. It's loud and it's old, but it works good. So I'll file that down and clean it up, and then we'll use this for our back bumper. I was running into this post here, that's why I had to go in from the other side. And we still haven't destroyed this truck too much, so we can still use it for another project if we need to. I don't know if we ever will, but I'm trying to keep the cab good in case we need to use it for a project at some point. But I did need that bumper. So I don't know what happened to the footage of this being primered, but here it is painted. The International truck. Now this is a glossy green. So what we're going to do is we're gonna paint it. I think it's good on the paint here, so what we're gonna do now is spray it with some matte clear coat, and a couple coats of that will hopefully tone down the gloss. So I have the truck here. I showed the truck being painted. I don't know if I showed the tank. The stripe came out pretty good. It's level for the most part on both sides. This one kind of got wide on this end, but that's okay. It'll work. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're just kind of getting a close idea. Because this isn't really, like I said, Tohill's truck's a Ford. This is an International. But see, now the bumper and everything is all one. I got the tires on there. Got the grill detailed out. I did the chrome bars on the vent windows, which will look better once the truck is back together. Here's the truck. There are some imperfections in the paint, but that's par with the real truck. So, like, normally this spot here would really bother me, but the real truck pretty much has some spots in it too. So, like I say, not worried about it. And painted up pretty good. I haven't had much luck with Rust-Oleum paint. It just doesn't set up right. So I found Ace Hardware's brand of paint works really good. It lays on nice. They didn't have any matte forest green, so I bought the forest green that they had, which was a gloss, and then put about 5 coats of matte clear coat over it, and this was the result. Was kind of a satin finish. Now, the tank you see is painted black, matte black, and the green came out matte on that. So maybe for future reference, if I want a matte color, I don't know why it didn't do it with the primer, but what I could do is paint the truck a matte color and then paint over it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because this is 2 coats of green and this was 1 coat of green. But regardless, everything seemed to set up pretty well. I'm still working on the hose for this tanker, figuring out what I'm going to make that out of. I want to use something maybe like rubber. They have these pencils, they're for like novelty, you know, but they're made out of the same stuff that erasers are, but they're a whole pencil. And I was thinking they're like 2 feet long, though, so I'll have to cut it. I was thinking if I stick it here, because that's where the pipe comes out of the back, and then it just kind of wraps around and rests on this back fender here. But I gotta find one of those, because the one that I have, A, is old, so it's not bendy anymore, and B, it is red and white. And my thinking is, if I paint that and then bend it, the paint's gonna crack. But I can't hold it in place, you know, in this shape, and then paint it. Not now, because I wasn't sure at first what to make it out of. But here's basically what the truck's gonna look like when it's all put back together. Something along these lines. It's not all snapped together, of course, but there's your general idea what it's going to look like. I got the tires on here. They won't fit over the back wheels, and I didn't think to. These back wheels help these tires stay on, so I didn't want to cut them. I may paint these black on the back just so it doesn't look bad. But yeah, we're getting everything arranged to put the truck back together. I'll paint the tanks black, but I'm going to do that by hand because the more of this was going to be chrome than black. So, gotta paint the tanks black, and like I say, I gotta figure out the hose that comes off of the end here, the big tube. There is a pipe on the real truck that comes up from out mid-tank, comes up and then goes down the back, but we're having a clearance issue here where I'm not going to be able to build that to where that goes down the back. So I just say heck with that, because that's kind of hard to represent in scale anyway, because the toothpicks are too big around. I mean, they would work, but like I say, it's gonna be similar, not gonna be exact. It's not like our neighbor's truck which was the last custom no, that wasn't the last custom I did. But the blue and white truck, the Chevy Cheyenne that I did, that was the second custom ago. So, what you guys are probably thinking right now is the grill on this Ford is black, and so is the bumper. So why would I leave the grill chrome on this International that we're painting? Well, the reason I'm doing that is because Tohill has an International truck, which happens to be red, and the grill on it is chrome. I don't even think International, no, that's a lie, they did. They painted some of these grills black, but this one happens to be chrome. Now the bumper obviously is black, but we're gonna leave it as a chrome bumper with the chrome grill. And so we got the I'm getting the truck back together here. Luckily the screws that I used, they're the screws that came in the from the flatbed truck, fit, even though this casting's a little thicker than that plastic truck, they fit so the barrel can be, the tank can be screwed on there. So we're getting her put back together here. Hey, guess what? The truck is all back together. And you can't really see a lot of the details until it's on the turntable because they're all very small details. Like Tohill oil operators, Keith Tohill, Flat Rock, Illinois, on the door. And then I'm going to put his phone number on the door, but I didn't figure the whole world needed to see that, so that's not going to be in the video. I went ahead and painted the gas tanks black. The grill is detailed. Oh, the mirrors. The mirrors were a last minute thing. I was kind of letting the ink dry from the labels on the side, and I thought, I have this Greenlight cab from a video I did a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but probably been 2 years ago, or maybe a little bit more. Anyway, you have this International Workstar, which is basically a newer version of the Lodestar. It had some mirrors on it, and I haven't used this in 2 years, so now if I need to use it, it's just not going to have any mirrors on it, because this needed mirrors, and I think these mirrors look pretty good on it. They're big mirrors, but this is a big truck. It didn't quite go back together exactly right. This needs to be tight on there. I've tightened the screws as tight as they'll go, but for some reason they're tightening the barrel, the tank, but they're not mashing the fenders down. So I don't know what's going on there, but I don't want to strip them out and then the tank not stay on there. So just gonna stay like that. Oh no, I put a tire on backwards. I've got one tire going the wrong way. One tire out of the whole truck. Man, that was going to bother me now. But coming around back, I couldn't find anything to make the big pipe out of that comes out of the back and then wraps around the tank. So it just doesn't have one on there, because I didn't know what to make it out of. But I added mirrors on it, and did some other stuff to it. I did some additions that I didn't plan on, so I thought I'd make up for not having the hose on there. You can't see it now. I did color in the back window, which was just cast in there, and I thought, well, that at least needs to be black. So, and Now I kind of combined a few eras here. First off, since this wasn't a Ford truck, this is an International, it's not identical to the truck that we were basing this off of anyway. So I took some creative liberties. Tohill Oil Operators is actually on the door of the Ford truck, and there's nothing written on this stripe. It's just a big stripe. Well, you saw the pictures, just a big stripe on the tank. The older trucks of his are a little different. They say Tohill Oil Operators, and then they'll say Keith Tohill, Flat Rock, Illinois. So I wrote that before I put the mirrors on, but it fit okay on this side. It says Keith Tohill, and then Flat Rock, Illinois. So, oh, I painted in the cab lights too, which I didn't notice this even had cab lights on it until it was stripped down to bare metal. And I was like, oh, there are cab lights cast into this, which worked out well because the Ford had cab lights. So it didn't come out as perfect as I thought it was going to. It didn't, and the tire being backwards, but as I can understand how that happened, because those tires were really hard to get on there. I was I think underestimating the size of these wheels compared to the size of the wheels they came off of. They look the same to the naked eye, but apparently they're not the same size. Because that took a couple days of frustration to get all 4 of those tires on. So yeah, there it is. I'll put it on the turntable. Hopefully you can see this. The camera's not picking up on it very good. This really, I promise, looks better than what it does. It looks like it's 4 different colors on the camera, and I'm not sure why. Camera's also picking up some kind of smudge on the door that I can't see it. So, I don't know if it's something with the lighting or what. There's nothing on the base, but there's the base. Our screw is white from the white truck that came off of it. And I don't know, I didn't paint it. And that front bumper really worked good for the back bumper on this truck. So, yeah, the fenders are really high, but I'll get it on the turntable for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Have a great day. I'll catch you in the next video.